Shalom Israel. This is Brother Nalah with another episode of Nalah's Chamber. And this episode will be called Sodomy is the New Crack. Sodomy is the New Crack. For since post-slavery, Esau has been trying to destroy our people out of this country, either to the population of zero or such a small population that we don't even count as a society anymore. Sort of like they did with the tribe of Gad, to where their numbers are less than 0%. That has always been the plan for Black Americans post-slavery. They've tried many things in the past. They've tried heroin in the 1920s going into all the way up into the 60s. After heroin, to move forward, in the 60s, late 60s and early 70s, they removed the father from the household with the welfare plan, where they gave black women incentive not to have a man in the house, crippling the family, and the destruction was going to come that way, which we're still seeing the results of that, as I've spoken about many times in commentaries. After that, that led into the 1-2 punch of AIDS and crack. So you had AIDS, which is a manufactured disease, which they made in laboratories, which they bombed in West Africa first, and then they bombed it a second time in Haiti. What they did not realize is a lot of white gay men would travel to Haiti on sex trips, and they brought the HIV virus back to the major cities, New York, San Francisco, Miami, and so forth, and it spread out in the gay communities, which a lot of these gay men were wealthy and they were blood donors, and then it got into the blood system and it backfired. So it spread more quickly in the gay community than it had planned to do in the black community. So that strips have fallen into their own net. And of course it did cripple the black community too, but it also crippled the gay community and also intravenous drug users. So that was another way to exterminate black people. And then of course crack came in just about the same time. AIDS and crack simultaneously came in, and crack, that definitely was targeted to the black community in Los Angeles is where it started, through Freeway Ricky Ross. Of course, there's many movies and shows and interviews around him. There's limitless things on him to get the research on that, but it plagued LA and it spread like wildfire through the rest of the country. Of course, New York is going to get a hold of it probably the next day after LA got it. So of course we know that the so-called crack era was going to eradicate us and destroy us. But once again, it started to leak into Wall Street. The Wall Street guys started to smoke it, and then the rural America white people started to smoke it. So once again, that backfired. So to speed along to today, Malik Yoba, well, the backtrack, sodomy is in the last 10 years, not even 10 years, maybe going on 15 to 20 years. I can watermark it at 9/11, which we just had the 9/11, September 11th attack, New York DC, Pennsylvania attack anniversary, 18th anniversary of it that just passed. Post September 11th is when, post 2000, post September 11th, 2001 is when I saw the sodomy movement going strong, where it's just like, okay, it reformed itself as an underclass society. And here in New York, it was just in Greenwich Village, pretty much. I remember being a child and that being their district, and they were open there. Of course, in San Francisco, and there's always been, Atlanta has been always a subdivision of their cultural hub city, So But as we moved along in these 2000s, post 9/11, that it's not quarantined to any city or any district. It's everywhere in every facet of life. And of course, with our people, it has been weaponized. It has been weaponized the way crack was weaponized, the way heroin was weaponized, the way AIDS was weaponized. So to cut to the chase on the subject person at hand, Malik Yoba just came out the closet, so to speak, of sorts, as being transgender attracted. So they come up with these terms to try to soften it or to try to legitimize it. In other words, he's attracted to men that dress up like women. So as a result of him coming out like that, that that is a major attack point. It's like being like a war. That is a major missile being launched at us, because you have a actor that was respected by a lot of people. Malik Yoba's always been serious. He's never been like a clownish type of actor. They've always had legitimacy to him as a person. You have him saying these sort of things and legitimizing things is like a weapon to promote this sodomy on our people in its own way. So the chess move he made, what prompted this on the low, is that there's a 13-year-old transgender person. She's older now, or he's older now. You don't know what to call these things, but this transgender person said that when he was 13, Malik Yoba had a sexual affair with him, and he was about to go public. So it kind of forced Malik Yoba to make this chess move to where he's trying to say, look, this is what I am. I'm coming out of this. And he did a smart move on his part to cut this person off at the chase, to where, okay, I'm going to drive the narrative. I'm going to say, well, I'm transgender attracted, before this 13-year-old can say, well, I'm a pedophile. Because if it can go the other way. This person comes out and says, look, you have sex with me when I was 13. Not only will he lose his career, but he may lose his freedom. That might be a crime that could be prosecuted. So he decided to jump ahead of this person and say that, well, I'm just trans attracted. And he did a smart move, even though it's demonic, a smart move on his part. So now he becomes an advocate. Now he becomes almost like a political hero. So that's why if you just put it under the microscope, he says he's going to go on a march in D.C. for this transgender rally to protect them, which he's really protecting himself. So as he's over the past couple of weeks, explaining himself of what it means, you can see where this is all the trickery and demonic trickery for our people. Because if you notice, the black community is the black and Hispanic community, because the 13-year-old was actually Hispanic. So the tribes are in it, the Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom are part of this. They are trying to put this on our people. Like, why doesn't this happen to any other community? The Indian community, the Asian community. It's always focused on our people. It's like being the black and Hispanic community is like the trash compactor or the trash disposal of everything dirty and evil and destructive. Like crack, AIDS, all that stuff filters to you. You're at the bottom. You're like the garbage disposal of the world. And it shows itself time after time. You see this narrative being played out, and it's almost damn near scary. It is scary. So what you can see from what Malik Yoba is doing is this further weaponized sodomy. Is that he comes out and what the attack point is that, okay, if I can do it, then it's nothing that's really that bad, because you had Mr. C Even further back, Eddie Murphy was caught picking up a transsexual, but he had the money and the power to cover it up and deny it until it disappeared, and that was before the social media era. And then you had Mr. C, who was a big DJ uh, in hip hop. He discovered Notorious B.I.G. He came out and said he liked it, and it was kind of like shady. So now with Malik Yoba's coming out, it's reformed now. Now it's like, okay, this doesn't mean you're over. Like Mr. C's been over. African Bambaataa, he came out liking this. Now he had to go and hide and vanish. Now Malik Yoba is the new generation of this thing where it's like, okay, I can finesse this. I can finesse this not only to save myself because he was doing something pedophilic or being a pedophile with a 13-year-old boy dressed like a girl, but I'll flip this and make money off this. I'm going to become sort of a hero to this. And when it gets to that place, that's when it gets scary because now you're trying to mainstream this sodomy. So he recently did a interview on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne and Angela Lee and DJ Envy, where he's trying to break this down. And one thing, the interview is just off and demonic. But one thing I noticed is that this sodomy is becoming like how Esau is. It's just like Esau gave the keys to the sodomites, and it's like they have the power now. Because I notice when they're speaking about this sodomy, they put it in terms of like, okay, this is the official way that you have to view this, and if you're against this, then you're the one with the problem. So they flip the script. Instead of like somebody that's a 20, 30 years ago, if you were a man, you like to dress like a woman, you were something was mentally ill with you. Now they're saying, reversing it, where you're mentally ill if you don't like this. So that was the scariest part of that Breakfast Club interview, where they're trying to legitimize it so much to the point where, long story short, you could watch the interview, it's off, but they're saying something is wrong with you if you're not down with this program. So they're attacking your senses, and if you're not strong and you're not strong enough to defend yourself against this, you can get turned out too. The main thing they're going to do is the children, to where they say, look, for example, if I said something like the basketball player Draymond Green with the Golden State Warriors, if I said if Draymond Green put on a weave or a wig and put on a dress on, would you want to have sex with him? The average Jake heterosexual would be like, ew, hell no. What these people on this panel at the Breakfast Club would say would be like, why did you say ill? What's wrong with you? Why did you say that was disgusting? See, this is the problem. You're the one has the problem. You're being immature. That's not disgusting. Draymond Green with a weave is beautiful. He's just expressing himself. He's just a person. He wants love and compassion like anybody else. So what they're trying to do is condition your mind to think like, this is normal. This is our new normal, and you're in the dark ages. But when they get to the children, and the children are molded to think that, then they're naturally going to be open to this sodomy. And they're trying to condition. The ultimate goal is to condition to you where if you saw Draymond Green or Patrick Ewing, the former New York Knick, with a wig or a weave, and he wanted to have sex with you, that it's not weird or abnormal. So it's like they want to condition your mind. They want you to stop resisting it. And Malik Yoba is a demon for doing that. I mean, he has a lot to pay for him being the first. He would, if this sodomy weapon continues, and we get to a point 10 years from now where it's normal to see Jakes with transgenders, which is it's not normal now. It's being seen now. But if it's so normal that it's like, yo, that's his girl. Where you see it, where it's common to you, you can say Malik Yoba was the first one to do that officially. And it's funny that he was on a show called New York Undercover, where he was really undercover back then. And then you had Michael DiLorenzo, his co-star, Ephraimite. They had Judah and Ephraim, Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom, being grimy together because he's a sodomite too, but he's more low-key sodomite. And it's funny, now that that show was so big in the 90s, New York Undercover, that it's ironic that that's the title of the show, and look what it turned out to be in the future. But yeah, this sodomy thing is being weaponized, and Malik Yoba is the forefront. He's the guinea pig. Like I said, they try to test us on the guinea pig with so many things. And one more note, you had Little Nas X. He's also a major part of this weaponized movement, where you have his first name Nas, revolutionary militant rapper Nas, and Malcolm X. They're both their names being molded together for this sodomite dressed like a cowboy to try to put the image up of this is what the new black man is, and we'll give him militant names in almost mockery and subliminal defeat. Like, we'll take your militant heroes and sodomize them out. It's like Eyes Wide Shut. It's so much in your face, that the mockery, that you can't even, the average person can't even see it. But yes, this sodomy is being weaponized. It's the new crack. It's the new thing they're pushing on us to destroy us. And to be shielded with the Most High is the only way to see this clearly, because you can be blind by this. So with that said, that's been another commentary. This is Brother Nalah. Hit the subscribe button for more commentaries. Until next time, Shalom.